Hey there, and welcome to A Well-Rounded Life, the podcast, a space for creative entrepreneurs seeking an intentional life and biz filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your host, Geomyra. I'm a mama, wife, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live a well-rounded life. Right here is where you'll find curated resources, quick tips, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. So hang out with me for a bit and let's dive in. Hey guys, Geomyra here, and I want to welcome you to the last episode of Season 2 of A Well-Rounded Life. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. And today's show is super special because I'm bringing back the most requested guest for a special season finale. Great, we're starting already.
I know, but...
Any guesses to who it is? Drum roll. Drum roll. Okay, his drum roll sucks, but my hubby Philip is back, and he is joining me for a topic that we actually wanted to talk about for a long time. At least I did. As it is holiday break, I have him here with me, and I asked him to join in on the conversation. I shifted some things around, so this season finale has a guest. In today's topic, we are going to discuss the notion of how selecting your life partner and or the person you choose to bear children with is essentially investing into your future. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Your view may change after you hear today's show. And for those that haven't met my husband yet, check out episode 15 and get to learn the crazy that is my husband.
I'm not crazy.
Yes, you are. And see, there we're starting already. Episode 15 is one of our top-rated podcast episodes to date. And when you listen in, you'll immediately know why.
I should be getting paid for this.
Oh, gosh, stop. Before we really get into the nitty-gritty of the show, I just have to take a minute to say thank you, Well-Rounders. I launched this podcast on my birthday this year via a leap of faith, and I couldn't imagine where we would be 32 episodes in on December 31st, which is the day we are recording and dropping this episode. We have been blessed to be rated on the iTunes charts several times, which is mind-blowing to me. Your feedback, your DMs, emails, and in-person conversations regarding this podcast, it just means everything to me. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate your reviews, ratings, subscriptions, and all the shares. A special thank you to you, hubby, my right hand, Kimmy, my team, and everyone for your hands-on support and help building and grinding a well-rounded life. And of course, my squad for your support, topic ideas, continued encouragement, and all of that. With that said, let's get into it. Welcome back to the show, and happy last day of 2019.
Thank you. You as well. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
I'll see you later.
Oh, really? So we decided that today's episode is going to be legit freestyle. He was asking me for the questions so he could go over, and I'm like, there are no questions. We're just going to have a conversation as you sip on your coffee.
It's a crack of dawn here. Sheesh.
It is. It's 8 a.m, which is not the crack of dawn for some of us. So we don't have a script. We don't have an outline. We don't have anything. We are just going to keep it conversational, let it flow, and we'll just see what happens. See if we get a show out of this. Sound good? They can't see you, bro. You gotta say yes or no.
Can I get to that? Yes. I'm working my motor up to say yes. I'm moving my body.
Yes, that sounds great.
To be like,
lovely. Mm-hmm. All right, so babe, you and I speak 101 times throughout the day, and we talk. I don't think this is what I do. And we talk day, night, and about just about any and everything. And something that you and I often discuss when we think about relationships and just life in general, we always discuss the idea that the partner that you select is essentially the investment into your future. And full disclaimer, everything we say here is legit our opinions. So take it as you like. It is just us sharing. So take the info, roll with it, use it, don't. But just something to think about. So this is where we get into the show. Philip, can you expand on what your take is on the fact that your partner is essentially an investment for your future life and all that?
Oh, and the mic, sorry.
Yes, the mic.
I feel like you said it. I mean, it's I don't think it's a fact.
Technically, it's an opinion, not a fact, because it's an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I feel like who you choose, and I told my friends this for years. Who you choose is an investment, and I look at it like almost like it's a job or an interview, right? Where you go into it, you should be going into it
like a relationship,
like you're returning your investment, your ROI, right? Where you're looking at this person. And of course, you want to have fun, and you're maybe not thinking about it long term at that point. Mm-hmm. But at some point, when it gets serious, you're trying to figure out: is this person going to grow with me? Mm-hmm. Is this person going to be able to build a foundation so I can, when I expand my empire, are they going to be able to ride the wave with me? Mm-hmm. You know, if you get someone who you are now, and they're stuck on that moment, it ain't going to work out 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Mm-hmm. So just having the same mindset or the ability to adapt to expanding that mindset or expanding those goals or point of views, it's all an investment.
Yeah, I think it's funny because I had one topic for today, the last episode, and then we got into this conversation. I was like, maybe we'll share our thoughts, because I know there are a lot of people out there that are working on their goals for 2020, and one of them is to find love, build relationships, and do all of that. And so I thought it would be something for them to consider, because I think people sometimes just want to be connected or hooked up or be in with a certain group of people. But I even think it goes another layer. I thought about this the other day, like with our friends, that the people you surround yourself with is an investment. I feel like I have friends that pour into me. They try very hard to make me a better person. And if I was just sitting around some raggedy friends, I wouldn't have the support that I need from people outside of my marriage. So I even feel like legit the people that you are intertwined with are the investment that you need for your future. Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, you said it. I mean, it is what it is.
In your world, it's a fact. Yes.
But isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
Here's the thing. If it's not a fact, if it's kind of like I'm gonna keep related to jobs, right? Mm-hmm. If this relationship is just for a fun thing, like one of those seasonal jobs where you know it's gonna end.
Not a seasonal.
Seriously, like it's just they're hiring for like the next 2 weeks or temp job. Then yeah, you're not looking for that. You're looking for a quick in and out. You know, mm-hmm. Whatever that is going to give you that moment, mm-hmm. you're going to get it. But if this is like a career job where it's room to grow and you want to be a CFO one day or you start in the mailroom, like you need that. You know, whatever foundation or, I just think it's more the ability to adapt, ride the wave up, sometime down, someone that's going to have your back, and just be able to grow with you. It's hard because I feel like as an adult, we didn't have to do that. So
what do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like if I was dating now as a 45-year-old man.
You're not 45.
I feel like it.
Nowhere near 45.
It'd be different. I feel like it's different. I don't know.
I think I guess we should make it.
Maybe it's not. I don't know. I don't have to date now.
I think we should. For people who don't know us, we've been together since high school. So literally more than.
Sweating me since.
Oh gosh, not today. We've been together for how many years? Do you know the number?
Can you pause it?
No. I think 18 at this point and 12.
Like together?
Phil, let's not.
No, I'm serious.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You were there. And so what he's saying is...
Just ride the wave, right? Living the dream over there.
Not living the dream with... what he is saying is that we didn't have to date as adults. And so...
But I think the same formula applies. Now, granted, as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, I wasn't like... Who's going to be the good investment?
You know I was, honey.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what you're getting into. You know, I know you had a good head on your shoulders.
Talking about, I didn't know what I was getting into.
Mm-hmm. But you know I had a good foundation. You know, my parents were straight. You know, I was like driven. You know, I wasn't like a bad kid.
No, not
I had goals. I was like the man. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the man.
You was all right.
You want to sweat me?
You was
in my starter jacket? In my little curly top? Yeah.
He was all right. But I think, okay, so let's get into that. I think like some things to consider. Friends that are dating or friends that are looking at their partner that they've been kicking it with, or even their friends. It's like, what are their parents? You made a great point. Your parents are amazing. I couldn't have prayed for better in-laws, or, you know, as people say, parents in love. They are everything. And so if Philip is a mama's boy, so
Stop putting my business in the street like that.
You are a mama's boy. And if if his mom wasn't as amazing as she is, it could have been challenging, and that could be something that could be a rift in a relationship. So, you know, it's great to know that his parents are solid, his dad is solid, and all that, because I know some people deal with that. So you also got to look at the people's parents. How were they raised? Because the values and morals that they have is something that your partner will have. And then guess what? That's the stuff you're going to be teaching to your children. Because I don't think people, like, I look at some people and you like, they didn't even stand a chance because their parents were just a hot mess. And so you do have to look at your partner's parents.
But in the other way of that, I feel like a lot of times you have, I know some of my friends, for example, the way they grew up or the lack of like relationships with their parents, it motivated them to have that. So if their dad wasn't around or whatever wasn't around, they're like, I'm not going to have that for my kid. I'm going to make sure I'm showing the practices or filming everything or doing whatever. Because a lot of my friends are actually like
amazing dads.
Yeah, where they're like, I didn't have that, so I want that for my kids.
And I told you too that before we decided to have Peyton, that I'd be damned, excuse my language, that if it's not an option for you not to be in her life, because my father was in and out.
I mean, that wasn't.
I know, but even
I
like with
you make a point
death.
to like pop up at school activities and doing that.
You talking about like our kids now? Yeah. I think because my mom wasn't able to do it,
right?
So she wasn't able to do it, so I go out of my way to do it because she worked really hard, and it was a lot of us that she took care of, and so because I have the flexibility in my job. In our lives, I am very hands-on in the school, and, you know, I take lead in mentoring our group of girls and everything else because I didn't have that growing up. And so that's something that's super important to me.
So when did you know I was a good investment, or did you even think that way?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm kidding.
Don't touch me. You didn't get a return on your investment?
Oh, honey, I got my return on investment. Honestly, I don't know. I honestly feel like when I think...
we say this, but were we just lucky? Or was it like...
I don't believe in luck. I believe in blessings.
Or were we just... And that's the thing. I mean, you're going to get your blessings. You're going to get your opportunity,
I mean,
right?
you also have the opportunity at any point to cash in and cash out and keep it moving.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like...
but let me answer that. I think that I realized you were not return on investment, but that you were a solid, like my money or my resources. I'm not going to say
second
money.
Date?
Yeah,
sorry.
Second date.
I'm just kidding.
Honestly, I think... yeah, we was rocking in betting games. I think for me, when I look at our relationship... we legit grew up together, from kids to college people to adults.
Yeah.
And so for me, where I feel like my investment was growing. You know, you can look in the bank and you see your money growing, and you get the little sheets in the mail or online now, and you can see where your money is going. For me, my life was growing in abundance because I was linked up to you. And so we would keep hitting milestones and keep progressing and doing these things. So I knew I was in the right place.
That's a good point. Well, to elaborate on that, I feel like sometimes you don't know.
No.
But I feel like you know what you want, and you're praying for this person, or you're praying for these things, and if you're not ready for these opportunities or blessings, then it's really not a blessing. So in that said, like, I feel like we were so much similar in that sense, where we both wanted more. Mm-hmm. We both wanted this greatness. We had conversations, and we realized, like, hey, I want to go on a private jet one day too. Hey, I want to go explore the world too. Hey, I want to do whatever. It wasn't like first class. I'm cool with Coach. Yeah. We never thought that way. We always were just the small stuff.
Yeah, the little things. I think
like we like having steak dinners just because, you know,
so
like
we're
it
going to
wasn't
work towards the steak dinner. We're not going to just settle, which is fine. And I think, let me make that point. If that's fine for both parties, it is. Boom, you're solid. That's
it's not a bad thing not to want that.
No, but I'm saying
if you want it and I don't, it's like, oh man,
that's where that's what I was about to say. That's where the disconnect is. If one person is like, I'm cool with McDonald's every day, all day, I'm living my best life, and the other person wants to be at Capitol Grill, that's a problem. But if both people are like, McDonald's is where it's at, that is amazing. Rock it out.
Money and put it.
Yeah, we're going to save our money. We're going to do different things. And I think for us, we just happen to both like, wow, that's cool. And we see things, and we will look at each other like, all right, we're going to go after it. But if you have people who do not are in that, you know, one person, I'm going to use also like traveling. You mentioned traveling. Mm-hmm. We both love to travel. I have friends that love to travel. I have some people that are like, they will never have a passport because that's not important to them. And that's fine. However, if you're a person where you want to see the world and you linking up or getting married to somebody and they do not want to see the world, that's a problem. You have to decide, because then they're going to be like, why are you spending money on that? That doesn't make sense. I don't want to go to Europe. Like, I'm cool staying in my neighborhood. And that's where I feel like there's a disconnect with people.
Well, I think also, you said disconnect, being yourself around the person also. Like, sometimes I feel like, again, I didn't have to date as an older person. Mm-hmm. But when you're a certain, like, past 25, I feel like you kind of, you know, you're an adult, right? And that's who you kind of are. And of course, you can change over the years as well. But for the most part, like you shouldn't have to change your ways or thoughts or what have you because you're trying to get a person,
somebody else,
right? Yeah. So, because that could backfire as well, where you're like, well, he likes doing this or she likes doing that.
So I'm just.
And then later, like 10 years past, you're like, damn, I really don't like.
I never liked football.
I'm a vegetarian. Why are we going here still? You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. We just.
But of course, sorry. Another hand. Mm-hmm. Not to cut you off.
You got it.
You have to be open to other things as well.
Very true. Yeah. Like experiences.
It's challenging. Like, this is tough, man. We haven't even answered the question. Like you're thinking, like we're like, you gotta do this, but you gotta do that. Get bend. But little,
that's why I said it's an opinion. You're talking about things or facts, and I'm like,
no. I'm saying the fact is, who you're with is an investment. That's straight up a fact.
True.
Now, the challenging part to that is like it's like an investment, right? Not all investments are good or going to give you your return on your investment.
Some are challenging.
Some take longer.
Yes.
Some you lose money. Some lose your time, which is horrible, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think the key is getting in and getting out in enough time where you're not losing that much money or that much time. Keeping your eyes open. Not like it's like gambling. Like when you're done, like I'm done. Have a like stop point where
deciding
it's like,
what you will and will not put up with.
Right.
And I think just like I think about things like sports. Like I love sports, all sports. So we connect on that level. I like nice things. You like nice things. Yeah, but things that are also important to us are like our family. Family is super important. Some people, they don't really want to go to family functions and holidays at people's house, and then the partner looks standoffish to other people. And if you're family oriented and they're not, that could be a concern and challenge, because then it just makes things look a little just sloppy in some ways as well. But I think like shifting a little bit, I also think about like we talked about like traveling and then like long-term goals with people. Like, do you plan to work until the day you die? Do you plan to retire at a certain age? And then what are we going to do with our time when we retire? People have to have these questions answered, I feel like, at some point, because ultimately this is you and me until the end. And if we're not on the same page, it's not going to be a fun experience whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. I'm just thinking here, like, all right, if I'm, 45, right?
You're not 45.
Going to the bar or going to a party for New Year's, right? It's about to be
45 at the bar and partying. You got it.
Yeah, like, hey, I'm living single, right? And then you go to the bar, boom, you see this person across the room, like, man.
Probably 25 at the bar.
Don't matter. She look bomb. Ooh. But that's the thing, like, she's half my age, right? So do I approach with my formula?
What the heck is the formula?
The ROI formula.
Okay.
You know? Or is that like the quick seasonal job. Like, I guess my thing is,
I think you got to ask questions with people when you date.
Oh, you don't go with like a list of questions like
I would.
One. No,
I would.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You can't do that.
For some.
No,
I'm joking.
You can't do that.
No, what I'm saying is you can find subtle ways to get your questions answered. People nowadays, I hear like some of the younger kids, and they'll be like, "Oh, we're just kicking it."
Too easy. You DM someone, you get a poke or something. It's like Facebook has a poke.
You're not even on Facebook.
I'm just saying. I see the button, and it's just easy. You don't gotta like do no recording. It's just like DM chick, what's up? You look cute in that. Like, say
slide in the DMs.
Slide in DMs. It's easy.
Nah, it
Be
is
my
easy.
Friend. What the hell?
It is easier, but I also think people have to ask questions in some way, shape, or form because you need to know certain things. I'll go back to like us with education. Like you went and got your MBA like right after your bachelor's degree. I took some time off and got mine a couple years ago. However, by seeing you do it, I said to myself, I'm not going to let you out education me. So you were my motivation to actually continue to go back and do whatever because I feel like we needed to be equally yoked in certain areas. But then it goes...
I guess this is a good segue that you know I'm back in school for my doctor. Sorry.
Good luck, brother. You got a lot of things coming up too. But I guess let me go sign up.
Sure.
But no, I think it's one of those things where that education is important to us in our, showing our children certain things. But
I mean, education is important to me. Mm-hmm. I don't think I did it because of that.
What the heck you do?
I just kept going. Like, I just didn't stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, I'm here.
Might as well.
Why not? Like, not sit around do nothing while I was in school. I graduated a little earlier, and I'm like, I'll do it.
But it makes me also think about being okay with someone going back to school. Like, you sacrificed. Like, I was able to go back to school, quit my 9 to 5, start a business, birth another kid, and you just fully supported it. Some people's partners are going to be like, So when you are thinking about your long-term goals, like, one day I would like to do X, Y, and Z, you need to let your partner know that, and so that they can give you the support that they need, or you can get the support from your family, friends, or whoever else, because that's like to me, that's super important. Let me ask you some random questions. What do you think?
Is this a hot spot?
No, we're not doing that.
Good.
The hardest thing about parenting. This is random.
Hardest thing about parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Just the worry of like you bring these people in the world and you can't always protect them. Mm. Things are out of your control, and they're still little for me. So 10-year-old in March and then 5-year-old. So I can't imagine when they're like teenagers driving or adults that can hurt my daughter or my son. You know what I mean? Like, it's just...
That's hard.
They're toddlers now. So, I don't know. It's
unknown.
The unknown is very challenging, and the world is scary.
It's very scary.
And not being able to protect them at all times. That's the scariest thing, I think.
What is the
most challenging thing?
What is the hardest thing about marriage?
The hardest thing about marriage, you can't leave, right?
You can leave.
No, you can't.
You feel trapped?
No, but it's like it's almost like you're in a octagon, right? Where like you're fighting. So it's like it's locked. The cage is
fighting.
No, I'm just saying like it's locked. So no matter what happens, if y'all happy, sad, mad, you can't like, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna take a break for a couple days. You know, you have your space,
but
and
we don't even
decompress. I'm just making a comment. Like,
that's great, but you make it sound like you. Would you like to talk about this?
I don't get paid to argue with you. No, seriously.
I was say we don't even argue. Like,
so listen, can I have my answer?
You got it. Gosh. You got it.
ROI. I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna be quiet. This is my show. But we are a unit, so continue.
No, this is your show. You right.
It's a partnership. Forever. You can't get out.
That's what I'm saying.
You just said
Can I finish my thought?
Baby. You got it.
It's like I'm freestyling and you like just stop my flow.
I will not say anything else.
Good Lord. Ask me the question over so I can get my rhythm back.
What do you feel the hardest thing about marriage is?
No, say it with some positivity. Like,
so, Philip, what do you feel the hardest...
First of all, call me Philly Phil. Sorry.
What is the hardest thing about marriage?
So the hardest thing about marriage, that what we just did.
What?
No,
Which is what?
No, I think the hardest thing, like I was saying, is you can't leave no matter what. Like, you're in it to win it. So no matter what you're going through, it's like you have to work through your problem. So if you have a little argument, if you have a disagreement, if you just don't want to be bothered, it's like, boom, like, you're here.
I always say, whose idea was it that you have to share a bed, a room, your food?
Right. You're your own person still.
Rules?
You're your own person still, but you got to sleep with this person. They may be a morning person, you may be a night person.
Which is our situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You may want to watch a certain show, they may want to. Like, it's just, you have to be in it. And I think
you gotta.
the only way to
go ahead.
get through it, I feel like,
those are birds.
The only way to get through it, I feel like, is being that person's friend, learning how. Yeah, like, I feel like most people don't mind being with their friend, right?
Right.
Fellas trips, we do all the time. I don't mind hanging with my boys. Like, yeah, they get on my nerves sometimes, but
those are your brothers.
My brothers, exactly. So I think it's the same thing with us. Like, when I'm thinking about doing something, the first person I want to go with is you. I want to, remember that later tonight. The first time I hear some great news, the first person I want to call is you. So I just feel like, I don't know, being friends with that person and building that relationship is key, because when you're mad at your friend, you try to make up. When you have, because you, like, even if you're mad or happy, whatever, I'm gonna use mad. When you're mad, life still goes on. So it's like, oh shit, we got kids. Like, all right, hey babe, I know we had a little disagreement because I woke up late. I think
the kids help. Yeah. Meaning, like, we joke, like, we can't really stay mad at each other because life is happening so fast. Like, I want to be mad because I will hold a grudge.
Like nothing anyway.
Yeah, it don't be big arguments. And then you like, so are you picking up the kids or am I picking up the kids? Oh, who has this event and who has that?
You can't be like, don't talk to me.
I know, we can't. We legit have to communicate. I mean, people can text stuff, but you still gotta, like, show up. But going back to your point, my rule from jump, even when we were in high school, was friends first. I always tell people my biggest advice when people are trying to court, friends first, because you are my bestest friend in the world. And, you know, I have my girlfriends and they are my everything, but my husband just so happens to be the person that I have the most fun with. The person, like you said, if you have good news, if things are just bad, you see everything. You see my not so good days, like health-wise. You see just my frustration. You see all of it. And you have to be able to have that with someone if you are going to be your full authentic self, because I do know some people in marriages that are not friends with their spouse. And so it's just this guard up that you have because you're trying to be something that you're not. And I think it's important that your spouse is your best friend. Some people will disagree, but I do feel like it's important that...
Why wouldn't it be important?
I don't know. I think some people...
I guess something you're saying it's an opinion. Why is that an opinion?
That your spouse should be your best friend?
Not even... like, I think at least... at the minimum, it should be a good friend, someone that you don't mind being around.
I mean, clearly.
Like, imagine if you go home and you're like, oh, I gotta go home to this lady.
But that's a lot of people
talking my head off, or I gotta go watch this show. I don't want to be around these kids. Oh my god, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But there are people that go home and their home is not their sanctuary.
But if you ask them, they're probably like, man, it sucks. So why is that not a fact? That if it was the other way, like, you actually enjoy it. Like, when I get off work, I can't wait to come home and come to the door and my kid's like, hey, daddy.
What about me?
Can I get to the point?
Okay.
Hey, daddy. And then you say, hey, daddy. Sorry.
First of all, it's a man's voice.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
No.
Let's rewind it.
No, I'm going to keep it. Absolutely not. I don't sound like that. Oh, gosh. But let me see. I'm going to ask you another question. How do you feel being the head of the household? Having that responsibility as a man and the husband?
It's not like my initial, I was going to say, it's not as bad because I have a great partner, you know, so I don't feel like it's all on me. I just feel like we share responsibilities to our strengths, right? So I feel like in seasons, as you always say, we're doing different things, right? So I feel, and we always talk about this, I always say, we don't try to go like, all right, meet me halfway. My thing is I'm going to go 100% and then I'm not worried about, oh, I did this, so you do that. I'm just going to do everything I can in my power and
hopefully I show up and do the same.
Yeah, so I feel like once you see me doing all this stuff, you're going to do your thing as well. So absolutely. If I feel like...
You're not going to out-partner me.
Right, that's my point. So I don't want to go 50% and be like, well, I vacuum the kitchen, so you got to vacuum the living room. Like, I'm going to vacuum all of it. And then you see that like, damn, all right, well, you vacuum, I'm going to wipe the countertop off. Whatever.
Yeah.
So going 100% I think is key in our relationship, because if I worry about what I did and you got to do this, then that's where it's messed up. But back to your question, it's not. I mean, I feel like I have my responsibility, so I don't want to let the team down. So head of household, you say, but I feel like we're legit a straight team where we feed off each other. We go to each other before we make any decisions with anything. So the head of household is traditional, like the man's head of household, but I think we're more the newer age where we are a legit team. Even back in the day, like the guy was like, I sell real estate, so it's like, it's so funny to me where certain cultures, the guy has to do all the negotiating, but they don't make any decisions before they go outside the room and talk to their wife.
True.
So it's like, you guys still are a big part, and the boss is for real.
They're the face.
Right.
But the reality is,
the women's the boss for real. Like, that's what it is. Which I don't know why. Like, I'm just saying, like, why men? Yeah, true. But anyway.
We have things you don't.
Indeed.
How do you feel communication works as far as this whole investment situation? I think about, like I said, we talk a lot, and I feel like we do a decent job of communicating. Sometimes I have to be like, I was not aware. That's not how we roll. But how do you feel communication works when you consider your partner in investments?
Sorry, there's a long pause. I'm trying to think. Say it again.
Like communicating. Do you feel like we have good communication in our marriage?
I feel like, yes, we have great communication. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm just thinking the question about communication is more of like, there are some people who hold everything in, and
Well, we still have that. So I think we have great communication. I think the key for us, and I'm not sure how everyone else works, is just making time to communicate. Because there's things that you're like, oh, I got to tell you this, and you may be in a meeting, you may be away from that person, you may forget, right? Life happens, and you have stuff going on. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this meeting I have, or I forgot to tell you that we have a company party next week. But I'm
talking about, when I say communication, I'm talking about people's discomforts, dislikes, not happy.
Well, that goes to the friend thing. Like, I feel like if you are not friends with your person, you can't tell them that they're snoring at night, or the breath stinks in the morning, don't talk to me, or your food's not that great, add some more salt.
Are you using, is this me?
Whatever. So I just feel like that's the key. I don't know. If you feel like, oh, I don't want to hurt her feelings,
then that's not an authentic relationship.
Well, it depends. Like,
because your intentions will never be to hurt my feelings.
Right. Exactly. But
the message needs to be heard.
Exactly. And it's also like, you shouldn't, in my opinion, this is an opinion, you shouldn't be married to someone you can't be able to be honest with. Right.
True that.
If you're still courting stage, you want to maybe like suck it up and say it a certain way. Like, I don't like your food, but I'm gonna eat it because I'm feeling you.
You're right.
That's different. But by the time you're married, you should be like, baby, I got it. Like,
yes.
I can cook too. Let me show you how it's done. So I think that's key. Or let me show you my mom's macaroni. Like, that's the ways of doing it. But I feel like if you can't just be honest, and that goes back to the whole conforming thing, where it's like you're sitting here like you can't even communicate that you don't really like Housewives of Atlanta, but you're watching it because
you like Housewives of Atlanta.
I don't know. I watch that with you.
Okay.
Do I?
You watched it the other day.
Yeah, because it was on Fire Stick. We had to fix it for you.
Okay, thank you for that. You're so nice. As far as, let's see, so finances are concerned, when you think about couples, one thing I thought about is you got to be on the same track with the person regarding how you handle money and what your goals are with that money and whatnot. I feel like that's a common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this?
Finances.
What's the topic of this show?
Oh gosh, the topic of the show is how your partner that you choose in marriage and the person you bear children with is an investment into your future.
Okay.
Do you have any last thoughts on that?
On what? The title?
Good gosh. Yes, bruh.
Are we over?
Almost.
Oh.
Well, go ahead.
There you go.
Random question that just came up. Do you feel people should move in together before getting married?
Huh.
The Bible says no, but what do you think?
I mean, am I heathen if I disagree? You can make it. The Bible said this, so you better answer this.
Do answer authentically.
Why would you say that disclaimer in the beginning?
The disclaimer.
The Bible said this, y'all. So let's see what he says. That's what you were saying.
Heathen. No, I mean we moved in together before we got married.
Yeah. So I don't know. So my thought behind that was before I get married to this person, I need to see how you live.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because we were in a long distance relationship.
Long distance relationship, yeah. And before that, high school, living with your parents. So there are rules, right? So yeah, you want to see how that person lives, how they sleep, how they handle their business.
Can they cook and feed you?
Right. So
yeah.
I think. I mean, listen, it's not for everyone, and I respect it if you don't. But I don't see. That was my reasoning behind what I did.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I feel like we weren't in the same space for more than a couple days.
Our parents okayed it. Like our parents weren't like, hell no, It was like whatever. You guys are been rocking for 6-7 years now. And our families are very intertwined. Like our moms were best friends, and our sisters are best friends, and our children still are trying to figure out who's is on what side because our families who's a real aunt, who's a real sister.
I know,
because
our friends they call aunts and uncles and all that, so they confused. Forever, yeah. Jackson's like, I have so many aunts. Right. You do. So, oh man, any other last tidbits? I
don't have any other. I mean, again,
I just think sorry, because it'll give you some time to think. The whole point of this show was just to give you something to think about as you move into the new year, as you have all these goals, just making sure you are linking up with people romantically, socially, however, that are going to be able to push you to greatness and push you to the best version of yourself.
Adaptability.
What do you mean?
Being able to adapt, meaning the person that you are courting now are hiring for the job now, right? Job.
It's a job.
If that person can't, you hire a person for the job today that can't go to the job in the next 5 years or have the adaptability to progress to the job in 5 years, you're wasting your time.
Absolutely.
So that's my point. Like, they may not be what you want right now, but if they have the ability to become that,
you see the potential.
There you go. Then I think it's a win.
And again, that goes back to your friends. It's fun now. Where y'all
and yourself. You can't be praying for something that you're not even.
Oof. Preach.
Just saying.
Now there are some people out there, some females who have this long list of all things they want in a man,
and you're not even that. How you gonna get that? You not that.
And yes, true.
You don't think I'm looking for that too?
That's very true. And I think that you have to, like you said, take a look in the mirror and see what it is that you bring to the table. And it may be some material or other things that you want from this person if they're able to do X, Y, and Z. But are they a good person? Do you see the potential in them? How do they treat their family? How do they treat their friends? And how do they move? Do they travel like you want to travel? Do they go places you want to go? Do they eat where you want to eat? You have to just make sure you look at the little things, because that will definitely answer some of your questions. Even like you said, don't come to the table with a long list of questions, but just open your eyes and look for the signs.
And what are you bringing to the table? You can't be, again, I don't know. It goes back to the point where you're like, when I did my master's or whatever, it made you do your master's. Like, is that person going to bring out the better in you as well? Right,
because I knew that's what I wanted to do, and that it was important to me.
And you let you be the best person.
Yeah,
the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. But that was the whole point.
The well-rounded person.
Oh, gosh. What? Plug it. Thanks.
Shameless plug.
But no, that was the whole point, is that we have these conversations with our friends about how the person that you link up with and choose to lay down with is essentially an investment into the version of yourself that ultimately want to be, and just making sure you are opening your eyes and sitting at the table with like-minded people that have the potential as well. I think that is important. And then what happens if someone looks and they're in a relationship or they're surrounded by friends that aren't giving them the investment and their investment is in the tanks right now?
Run. No, I don't know. That's the challenging. I don't know, because you don't know the situation.
Do you believe in divorce? If you find
trying to tell me something on this live, this is your podcast. I mean, I'm just here,
stop,
so I don't get fined.
No, but
I'm here for support.
But you don't have an option about divorcing me, but
it's cheaper to keep her. Is what I heard. So we in this to win this
forever. All right, y'all heard it here first. In season 3, be like, so I have some news. Knock on wood.
Return on my investment is
it's done. It's
capped out.
Liquidated.
Yeah. No, do I believe in divorce?
That was a question, but you don't have to answer it.
I mean, I don't know.
You said you were in a box in a matrix or whatever you said earlier, and you can't get out.
Matrix.
Whatever. I forgot what the word was. But anyway, guys, I thank you for putting up with us per usual. If you did not like today's episode, do not go and rate it a 1 or 4. Just don't rate it at all. That's how I feel. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. That's where I was going with that. All right.
In closing, wow.
Stop it.
That is season 2 officially wrapped up. I'm reading your script.
Don't read my notes. All right, guys.
Thanks again, friends. Seriously, you guys rock.
That's not what it says.
Perfect.
That's not my notes. All right,
Don't
guys.
forget to sign up for my newsletter.
Season
Weekly Roundup
2 is officially wrapped. So thank you, guys. Thank you, friends, seriously, for rocking with me so hard over the past few months. Although we will be on a quick break, be sure to follow us over on Insta. I'm at Coach4Creatives. And as he said, sign up for our newsletter, the Weekly Roundup, via the link in the show notes or the website, of course, which is a wellroundedlifepodcast.com. Let me know your thoughts about this episode or even your favorite episode to date. This is number 32, so you've got
That's
some. I know we actually did.
You gonna do something special for like 50 and 100?
Maybe. I mean, we'll get there. This is a lot of
cars,
work.
I mean.
Not Oprah. Speaking of the website, though, there are so many free downloads and resources ready for you to take advantage of, to include a phone wallpaper that we created for, I think, the last show, that you can use for your word of the year and holding yourself accountable. I will not keep you any longer, so you don't have to put up with our shenanigans, but I do want to send you all the love, peace, joy, and abundance as you enter into a brand new year. This year, there are actually 366 opportunities for you. It's a leap year for you to show up.
So they can get proposed to their dude this year.
Who?
So the leap year, like the woman can actually propose.
Where is this?
That's the leap. Google it. It's leap year. Okay. So February 29th, you can actually propose to
who?
Your man. Like, women can propose.
Okay. Good luck, ladies.
No, I'm just saying that's what the leap year is.
There are 366 opportunities for you to show up and grant yourself grace, live out your passion, and walk in your purpose, which is our mantra over here. So let's go and do just that. Happy New Year. Loves. You want to say Happy New Year? To the well-rounded?
Happy New Year, well-rounded folks.
Happy New Year. We appreciate you. We just hope that you start the year off with a bang. Until next time, say bye.
Blah, blah.
Bye. Bye. Friends, thanks for kicking it with us this week. Remember to subscribe so you're notified when a new episode airs. I'd love it if you leave us a review and share this goodness with your squad. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.